Project teams, why? Why actually to formulate it? To complete the project within a given time span, the work must be amongst a number of people. The project may require a range of skills which is unlikely that an individual will have. Brainstorming and discussion generate ideas and solve problems. Through interaction, a small number of people can generate many options and alternatives. Team members can support one another, develop a commitment to your other team members, not just the project, and team will usually take riskier decisions than an individual. Decisions taken by the team are more likely to have the commitment of the team. So, various stages of formulating. Becoming acquainted and organized. Your team has just been formed and you're learning more about the project and your fellow team members. जब team formulate हो रही है, it becomes very important that you should know other team members also. Unless you know the team members also, your socialization in the team, it plays a very important role in actually formulating the team to do something good. Then is the clarifying the project needs and goals. You don't get to know project needs and goals initially. It is only the time which explains to you what is there in the project and how does the project need you. Right? You have met with your team members and you need to meet with the client or the supervisor to determine needs for the project. Next stage is determining or diagnosing the solution method. Your team has decided what needs to be accomplished. At this stage, the team is looking for candidate solutions and deciding which one to implement. Then is the implementing the project. Your team has settled on a design solution and is in the process of executing the design plan. So, it's not that on the first day you become a team. With the passage of time, you go through some certain processes to formulate a team. The project teams versus individuals. People like working in the teams because it satisfies the social needs of the individuals, means of sharing risk with other team members, means of establishing the self-esteem. The team provides a psychological home for the individuals, and the team should provide support and a means of testing out the ideas. Note, some people do not like working. There are some people who say, "Yeah, मैं किसी के साथ मिल के काम नहीं होता, अकेले ही करूँगा." How big should the team be? What do you think? How big should the team be? कितनी बड़ी होनी चाहिए टीम? Okay. Generally what should be the size of the team? Okay. चलो बात करते हैं इसकी. How many people are required to complete this? First thing, काम कितना बड़ा है उसी हिसाब से टीम होगी. प्रोजेक्ट कितना कॉम्प्लेक्स है. Some people don't even understand that if somebody is not picking up the number, that means he doesn't want you to actually call. Okay. What technical expertise is required by the team? There are 3 different technical expertise required in a team. Then you will have at least those 3 people, right? So therefore, the size of the team is also dependent on what kind of expertise are required. What is the appropriate level of conflict, right? Increase the size of the team, increases the chances of conflict. If the team is too big, then there are going to be more conflicts in the team. Conflicts actually undermine the strength of the team, right? But that doesn't mean that there should not be conflicts in the team. You should always expect and respect the conflict in the team, right? Some conflict may be helpful. Large teams tend to be unwieldy. When the team becomes too big, then you cannot really resolve what should be the good solution for working. Large teams subdivide and form the cliques. What's a clique? The team बहुत बड़ी होती है ना, तो बीच में छोटे छोटे ग्रुप बन जाते हैं. एक दूसरे के साथ उनकी दोस्तियाँ हो जाती हैं, and then they kind of cliques. वो कबीले छोटे छोटे बन जाते हैं. वो कहते हैं this guy clicks with me. सुना है ना ये word? What is this clicking? Clicking का मतलब होता है we can work together, we can formulate decision, we can formulate a group and we can act together in a given direction. तो कई दफ़ा वो clicks टीम के लिए अंदर supportive नहीं होते. कई दफ़ा वो clicks teams के अंदर negativity create कर देते हैं. But when the teams are too big, there's reason that becomes a reason to actually formulate the clicks. Team needs a balance of personalities and team needs. Normally between 5 to 10 is recommended in a team, right? So when it is too big, it's a group, it's not a team, right? When it's too small, the requirements of becoming a team are not justifiable or met. What are the winning teams? Research in the team dynamics suggests that a successful team will have a team leader with an appropriate management. You must have a management style. आपकी ज़िंदगी के अंदर अगर आपका कोई स्टाइल नहीं है, तो then you are just an individual who is a number. You must have a style of your own. If you don't have a style of your own, you can't become a team leader. वो टीम समझते हैं यार हमारी तरह माजा साझा ही है, तो माजा साझा में से बाहर निकलने के लिए ज़रूरी है you must have your own style. That means you should be able to become recognizable with your style. Unless you are recognizable with a distinct style, you cannot lead a team. लोग उसकी बात मानते हैं जिससे वो इम्प्रेस होते हैं. अगर वो आपसे इम्प्रेस नहीं है तो वो आपकी बात दिल से नहीं मानेंगे. So for you to be a leader in a team, you must have the capability to, with your working method or style, you should be able to impress. Right? Okay. One person with who encouraged everybody. There's somebody at least जो हर एक बात हो जाएगा यार, फिक्र ना, और कर लेंगे यार, बैठे हुए मिलके करेंगे ना यार. A kind of a personality who is always encouraging. At least one member of the team generates innovation. एक बंदा ऐसे जो रोज आ रहा है, यार इस तरह कर लेते, यार मेरे ख्याल में इस तरह कर लेते, यार इस तरह कर लेते. So somebody who actually comes up with new ideas every day, innovative, a spread of mental abilities. कोई aesthetics में बहुत अच्छा है, तो दूसरा नंबर क्रंचिंग बहुत अच्छा करता है, तीसरा थिंकिंग कैपेबिलिटी बहुत स्ट्रांग है, कोई क्रिएटिविटी किसी की बहुत स्ट्रांग. सो अ मिक्स ऑफ ऑल मेंटल कैपेबिलिटीज मस्ट बी देयर इन द टीम. अ स्प्रेड ऑफ द पर्सनालिटीज. कोई खामोश रहने वाला है, एक खामोश रहने वाला, तो कोई एक बातें करने वाला भी होना चाहिए ना. अगर टीम में सारे खामोश रहने वाले तो फिर तो कोई बात ही नहीं होगी, तो यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू गो फॉरवर्ड. सो देयर मस्ट बी मिक्स ऑफ पर्सनालिटी. A spread of the time team, and लोगों के people should have their own separate responsibilities in the team. Unless they have distinct responsibilities, you'll not be able to formulate a good team, right? Team role. The essence of a team is that its members form a cooperative association through division of labor that best reflects the contribution that each can make towards a common objective. Not everyone is the same. People can contribute in different ways. Team roles. Some people will drive the team forward, be peacemaker, coordinate the team, generate ideas, worry about the details, get on and do it, and assess the progress and find resources. एक बंदा ऐसा होगा आपकी टीम में जिसके पास हर ये उसे कहो कि यार बात सुनो, आज कोई हमें चाहिए कोई इस तरह के 5-6 बंदे चाहिए जो यार ये मुश्किल काम आया है तो इसको कर रहे. तो वो बंदा ले आया, ओके यार मुझे रिकवरी व्हीकल चाहिए आज, रिकवरी व्हीकल नहीं तो हमारा काम नहीं, तो वो कहीं ना कहीं से रिकवरी व्हीकल ढूंढ के ले आएगा. कोई एक बंदा है जो कहता है यार वी नीड द मनी टुडे, यार आज अगर पैसे ना मिलने तो वी विल नॉट बी एबल टू गो. Here's a guy, he gets the money also. So there are some people which are required in the team who are extremely resourceful. उनको जो काम कहें वो काम कर दें. So resource generator, drive the team forward, be peacemaker, coordinate the team, generate ideas, worry about the details, get on and do it, and assess the progress, find resources. Leadership as a process. Leadership is also a process. Task, what tasks need to be done, how are these best performed, strategic, what direction should we go, identify the opportunities, avoiding the threats, and people maintain working relation, morale, cohesion, and commitment. These are the processes in the leadership. There are different types of leadership styles. These leadership styles could be autocratic, democratic or participative, or a free reign. What's an autocratic? Here's a guy who's an autocrat. That means he makes a decision. He says, मैंने जो कह दिया बस वही होगा. इसके अलावा ज़्यादा सोचने की भी जरूरत नहीं. कह दिया ना यार, मुझे पता है कैसे करना है. ज़्यादा मत सोचो, मैंने कह दिया कर दो. This is a personality who is autocratic. The next one is a style, is a democratic participant. Here's a guy who wants, यार बात सुन, मैंने बताया वो गाड़ी का इंजन खराब हो गया, क्या करूं? Right? अगर यार नया इंजन लगा, ओवरऑल करा लो. कोई कहता नहीं यार मैं बताता हूँ क्या कराओ. ये जो इंजन है ना इसको भी चलने दो, अभी थोड़ा सा और गड़बड़ करता है तो फिर उसके बाद नया इंजन. So a guy who actually gets the ideas from others and makes everybody participate in making a decision as to what needs to be done, right? And the free reign, यार जो मर्जी करो मुझे नहीं पता, या मैं बहुत बिजी हूँ और बड़े बड़े काम है यार, मैं इसी काम में नहीं फंसना चाहता, जो करना है कर लो, मुझे बता देना क्या हुआ. He is a guy who's a free reign, right? हर तरह के leadership style होते हैं, उसमें these are the common 3 leadership styles. Now, leadership continuum, what is it? What works best will depend upon the team and the expertise of the manager and the situation. Here is a democratic and here is an autocratic. And this is communication with the team, depends upon how autocratic you are and how done. When you are autocratic, you are not communicating with the team. When you're democratic, you have a high ordinate in communicating with the team. Now here's a, see, boss decides, you're autocratic. Boss decides, this is the communication with the team. Individual, autocratic here. Group, consultative, and the team decides, this is the ordinate for this. So that means the difference between the autocratic and democratic actually translates into how well do you communicate with the team members. Now, is one decision no better than the other? Then autocratic is the best style. Does the leader have enough of the technical knowledge to make the decision? If not, avoid number 1. That is autocratic. Is the problem unclear and unstructured? Avoid 4 and 5. Don't involve everybody in this. If the problem is not clear, then don't involve everybody. You'll never be able to reach a decision. Must the team accept the decision? If yes, then 4 or 5 is the best. And if not, 1 and 2 are okay. Does the team share the manager's goal? If not, then avoid 5. If they are not sharing your goal, then you have to be a little autocratic. Delegation. One of the most important elements in formulating a team is the delegation of power to the team members. If you give responsibility to the team members, you must also delegate powers. There are 2 types of power actually what you delegate. One is the administrative power to make a decision, and that second one is the financial power that you give. So that means if you allow somebody to have an administrative power, then you must also give him enough of financial power to execute that administrative work. अगर आप किसी को कहते हैं कि you have all the decision making available to you and you don't give him enough of resource to make that decision, he's of no good. If you want to get something good out of him, you have to actually justify both of these things, an administrative power and a financial power, so that he can execute the work efficiently. Delegation is the key to the success. Avoid being bogged down in the trivial tasks. Actually, you should not even, for example, I have so many projects going on, and believe you me, I don't go after my projects. I just delegate. For example, I started a project about a year and a half ago in Miranshah. I have not visited that project even once because I've given all the powers to my manager who's running the show over there. He spends the money, he gets the job done, and I just ask him, हो गया? वो कहता है हो गया, पैसे इतने चाहिए. Okay, पैसे दे दो लेकिन काम ठीक कर दो. So I didn't visit even once that project, and that has come out to be one of the best projects which has been completed in time and with the amount of money. Key is that I delegated both of these. I delegated the responsibility to him, and then I gave him the authority to use the resource that's required. Now what has happened is over the time what I've seen, maybe this guy has spent about 10% more money. But look at this, by just spending 10% more money, I didn't even have to go there once and he's executed the project well. I'm happy. I should be happy because I didn't bother about this project even for a second. If I would have bothered about this project, I would not have done so many other good things which I have done. Assign a function or task to an employee. Allocate sufficient authority so that the employee can command the resources necessary to complete the project. And gain commitment from the employee for completion of the task. Manager needs to be constructive and needs to provide feedback. So you keep asking for the feedback. क्या हुआ है? क्या हो गया? पैसे कितने चाहिए? ये काम हो गया कि नहीं? पैसे ले लिए थे, उसका काम complete किया कि नहीं? So these are only some questions that you ask that guy and let him go. Now this is called managerial grade. What does that mean? What this means is this side is a concern for production, and this side is the concern for people. If you have a high concern for people and you also have a very high concern for production, then you are a team manager, right? If you have very high consideration for people but no consideration for production, you are a country club. If you have very high concern for production but no concern for people, you are autocratic task manager, right? And if you don't have any concern for production and you have no concern for people, you are an impoverished management. So this is a managerial grade activity. As a group, think back to a number of situations. Identify instances where the task has suffered through individual or team needs, the team has suffered through the individual and team needs, the individual has suffered through the needs of the team and the task, and report back to the class one instance of each. This is an assignment. Note down the assignment for next class. One paragraph on each. ठीक है? स्लाइड मिल जाएगी आपको. Project manager, expert, or a journalist. So should the project manager be an expert or a journalist? That's a question. When you become a project manager, should you be an expert or should you be just a journalist? क्यों? एक्सपर्ट होना चाहिए. गुड. आप क्या कहते? एक्सपर्ट होना चाहिए.
Kind of both, like expert is in his own field or journalist field.
Journalist. I think journalist.
जर्नलिस्ट होना चाहिए. एक्सपर्ट होना चाहिए.
So 70-30, so 70% expert or 30% journalist.
Good. That's very good.
Combination of both.
कॉम्बिनेशन बहुत अच्छा. बात यह है कि कई दफ़ा कॉम्बिनेशन करना बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है. फॉर एग्जांपल आपने एक प्रोजेक्ट बन रहा है जिसमें आपने नया कमर्शियल एयरक्राफ्ट डिज़ाइन करना है और प्रोड्यूस करना है, तो उसमें हु शुड बी अ पर्सन हु शुड बिकम द प्रोजेक्ट लीडर?
Somebody who has sufficient technical knowledge,
Aeronautical engineer
and overall managerial experience.
ओवरऑल मैनेजर.
Managerial experience.
तो ये क्या मतलब प्रोफेशन में कैसे बंदे को चूज़ करेंगे आप इस ये काम करने?
Somebody who is involved from the technical background. For example, in this case, मतलब aviation engineering expertise किसी हद तक रखता है, और subsequently he has grown in terms of management to the ideal person.
तो फिर आप 10 बंदे आए हैं, उसमें से कैसे सिलेक्ट करेंगे कौन?
Sorry, to aeronautical engineer.
या भाई एक पानी का ग्लास पिलाओगे, एरोनॉटिकल इंजीनियर होना चाहिए.
और सर दूसरा इस तरह की-
मैं ज़रा छोटा सा आपको बता दूं इसमें क्या चीज़ चाहिए होगा, क्या एक्सपर्टीज़ क्या चाहिए. उसमें डिज़ाइन की एक्सपर्टीज़ चाहिए, सिस्टम इंजीनियरिंग की एक्सपर्टीज़ चाहिए, इंजन की एक्सपर्टीज़ चाहिए, मैनेजमेंट की एक्सपर्टीज़ तो चाहिए होती, ठीक. उसके बाद इलेक्ट्रिकल, ठीक है. उसके बाद there are about 20 different kind of expertise which are needed. So you can't find just one person who's good at it. Good? कैसे?
तो अभी कैटेगरी का काम है, उसमें आप डिफरेंट एक्सपर्ट भी हायर कर सकते हैं.
ठीक है.
सर वो एक्सपर्ट होगा तो उधर वो आइडेंटिफाई कर देगा ना सर एक्चुअल इंडिविजुअल
एक इंडिविजुअल के अंदर सब एक्सपर्टीज नहीं हो सकती। सबसे पहली चीज़ आप वो ढूंढते हैं, क्या किसी इंडिविजुअल ने इस तरह के प्रोजेक्ट पे पहले काम किया है कि नहीं। So first, that's the first go. You must find a guy who has worked on a similar project before. He is the best guy. Now वो कितना टेक्निकल है, अगर उसका एक्सपीरियंस उसमें है। बहुत दफ़ा मैंने देखा सिस्टम इंजीनियर्स can do much better job than other experts in the field. And obviously, a system engineer who has worked on development of agricultural land cannot really do a good job on the development of an aircraft. So somebody who has already worked on a project of similar nature like an aircraft, he should be the best fit for that, right? And yes, he should be a journalist also, and must have a knowledge of the application area. Aviation industry का knowledge उसके पास ज़रूर होना चाहिए, और अगर वो नहीं है तो he will not be able to perform well.
रेयर केस होता है कि इस प्रोजेक्ट पे पहले से काम किया।
क्या?
ये बहुत रेयर केस नहीं होता है।
नहीं। एक्चुअली आप जिन लोगों ने प्रोजेक्ट्स पे काम किया उन्हीं में से किसी को प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर बनाते हैं। ठीक है, आप हवा में से तो नहीं किसी को उठा के बना सकते ना। यू ऑलवेज फाइंड समबडी हू हैज वर्कड ऑन सिमिलर प्रोजेक्ट्स, तभी आप काम करा सकते हैं, वरना अच्छा काम नहीं होगा। Journalist, more concerned with people, cost, coordinating, multidisciplinary team rather than the technical issues. If the project manager is a technical expert, he may suppress the innovation, can argue that good project manager does not require technical knowledge. There is some यार project manager अच्छा होना चाहिए, उसे project के processes पता होना चाहिए, technical होना ज़रूरी है नहीं, technical होना ज़रूरी है, right? Otherwise, and when the project is technical, if the project is non-technical, then you don't have to be a technical guy to undertake a problem, right? Okay, if it's an expert, better place to apply the judgment and forecast problems, aid with the team selection from a technical point of view, involved in the whole project from feasibility study to completion, gain respect from the project members because of technical expertise. In most companies, look for technical experts as the project managers. Or motivation. Motivation is an inner force that causes or inspires someone to be inspired to do something. People are motivated by different things, and what inspires someone today may not inspire him tomorrow. It's the task of the project manager to motivate the team members in an appropriate way to achieve the project goals. To aid the PM, consider a number of motivations. So there are so many motivational theories which tell you how. This is, for example, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's self-actualization needs, self-esteem needs, social needs, security needs, and physiological needs. So they are all needs get together in order to formulate this. This is Herzberg's motivation theory. There are some factors which cause a grievance, and there are other factors which cause a high morale, and collectively these factors create some kind of a motivational skill in people. For example, these are motivators, which are, what's a sense of achievement? The recognition of ability, interesting work, responsibility, and promotion. Sorry, I had to take water. There are some hygiene factors. What is these hygiene factors? Earnings, boss's attitude, work conditions, boss's technical skills, policies, administration, and communication. So many times, these are things which cause more of the grievances. These are the things which cause more of high morale to actually undertake the work, right? Wheelhoom's developed expectancy theory. Motivation is equal to instrumentality into expectancy into balance. And instrumentality is your belief that hard work will lead to the increased performance. Expectancy is your belief that increased performance will lead to the desired outcome. And the valence is how much do you want the desired outcome. No motivation unless all three are present. Activity. Think about your own motivation. Do any of the theories apply to you? Can you think of the situation where one of the V-Rooms vector is missing? Discuss this in your group and present back to your, okay, because we do not formulate the groups as yet. Conflict. Conflict is inevitable. They will always occur. Symptoms include the poor communication, intergroup hostility, increased arbitration by the senior management, and proliferation of rules and regulations. The solutions include the arbitration, create a start position between the conflicting parties, negotiation, separation, and more useful, problem solving, confrontation, and compromise. So this is that grid which shows you concern for others and concern for self, right? If you have equal concern for others, equal concern for self, then you are in a compromising position. High concern for others and high concern for self, you are collaborative. High concern for others, no concern for yourself, you are accommodative. But you don't have high concern for others, you don't have high concern for yourself, you are actually avoiding. But if you have very high concern for yourself and no concern for others, then you are in a competing mode. And this is the ego states that people have. These ego states are, I'm okay with me, you are okay with me, I'm not okay with me, and you're not okay with me. If you think that I'm okay with me, but you're not okay with me, this is a futile thing. This will never take you anywhere. But you think, I'm okay with me, and you're not okay with me, then you're arrogant. If you think, you're okay with me, and I'm also okay with me, you are in a relative position. Okay with me, and I'm not okay with me, you're withdrawn. Right? So there are different ego traits which actually determine how do you go about in resolving the issue. This is an overlap of the ego states with the conflict resolution. Right? Feedback. You need to be able to give quality feedback, provide new insights and perspectives, draw out both the positive and negative aspects, give specific suggestions and comments, deliver in a suitable environment, be willing to provide follow-ups. Sorry. In problem solving, following are the important aspects. You must identify the problem. There's a process of identification which says identify possible concerns, determine the mutuality of concerns, identify complementary goals, and identify superordinate goals. Define the problem, analyze the problem, establish criteria for evaluating the solution and the proposed solution, and then take action. You organize discussions in order to resolve the conflict. Now, avoid focusing too much attention on solution too soon. Work on cultivating the endurance for ambiguity and doubt, and become actively involved in the entire problem-solving process. At all times, maintain an open mind and be willing to consider new problems and new ideas. When someone expresses a different opinion or disagree with you, don't take it as a personal attack. Don't misinterpret the honest disagreement for dislikes. Conflict-based problem solving, dialectic inquiry. Divide your group into two advocate groups. Have one subgroup develop a set of recommendations for solving the problem. After receiving the first group's list of key assumptions, the second group should develop another set of plausible counter recommendations whose assumptions contradict those of the first group. The structured debate between the two subgroups is ready to begin now. Have someone state the problem the group is trying to solve. Elect an advocate from each of the subgroups. The subgroups should then debate both the plans. Once the debate is completed, the group should agree on which assumptions are most plausible and develop and/or fine-tune the recommendations based on these. So this is a method of resolving conflicts. Then is another method of resolving conflict. This is called the devil's advocacy. This is a very famous method through which people kind of find the solutions to the problems. What is devil's advocacy? Divide your team into 2 subgroups, one of which will serve as a devil's advocate. That means you think that there is a solution to the problem. Now there is a devil's advocate who will always have opposite opinion to whatever you think. That's a method which gives you more plausible solutions to the problems, because then you get to know how would the devil think about it, or how would your opponent think about it, right? And the next thing is that the subgroup that is not devil's advocate should develop a plan. The first subgroup then submits the recommendation and a list of the assumptions that underlie them to the devil's advocacy group. The devil's advocate group subjects the plan to an intense evaluation, and the first subgroup then goes back and adjusts the recommendations based on the valid criticism of the devils. So basically you invite somebody to criticize your plan, and once that is done in a good format, then you kind of improve your solution, and based on the devil's advocacy you change your solution or improve it. Using conflict effectively. First and foremost, don't be afraid of the conflict. Don't mistake the legitimate criticism for a personal attack. Keep your focus on the recommendations themselves, not who made them or why. Strive for the quality requirement for the creative thinking. Suspend the judgment, self-assessment, develop a positive attitude, use the checklist, and be self-confident. Encourage the others. Now here is the creative thinking process that you have to adopt in finding the resolution of your problem. Stages are orientation, setting the stage for the creative thinking, the preparation and analysis, gathering data and determining the relationship among the facts, the brainstorming, generating possible solutions, incubation, taking a break to encourage the elimination, and synthesis and verification, combining ideas and testing the solution verifications. That's the end of the story. If you have any problems, questions. कुछ सवाल?
ईगो स्टेट्स काइंडली जरा दोबारा बता दें कि इसमें कंफ्लिक्ट के साथ उनका रिलेशनशिप किस बेस पे बनता है?
मैं आपको This is an overlap. It only shows कि इनका आपस में ओवरलैप किस तरह है. So this is what it is, right? This is an overlap. This is a compromising state. When you have an adult thinking, you are actually collaborating with others. When you are competing, you have an arrogance in you. When you are avoiding, all efforts are futile. When you are accommodating, you actually withdrawn. आप step back कर रहे. ठीक है? So this is a contonym for this thinking. Or next class onward, probably we'll get more students, and like other instructors are also going slow on this. So we have also gone a little slow, and hopefully we have to speed up from the next class onward, right? हमें 2 classes का तो मेकअप भी करना है, तो हम उनके साथ ही मेकअप भी कर लें, ठीक है?